Hello everyone. So we will now have our lesson 4.2 about sum and difference identities and double angle and half angle identities. So these are our objectives for today. You are expected to derive trigonometric identities involving sum and difference of two angles and double angle and half angle. Simplify trigonometric expressions using fundamental trigonometric identities, sum and difference identities, and double angle and half angle. And prove other trigonometric identities using fundamental trigonometric identities, sum and difference, and double angle and half angle. And finally, solve situational problems involving trigonometric identities. So, ito yung ating summary sa coming from our module. So we have here the identities for sum and difference, double angle, and half angle. So bakit natin kailangan yung sum and difference, double angle, and half angle? Minsan kasi yung binibigay na theta sa atin or angle measurement, hindi siya parte ng ating unit circle. So kaya minamanipulate natin yung binibigay sa atin. Kasi para ma-identify natin kung kung ano yung value ng ating trigonometric identity. So, let's have an example. So here we are asked to find the exact value of the following. So, A, we have here an example of the difference identity for cosine function. We have 5 pi over 4 minus pi over 6. And then for B, okay, sine of 15 degrees and tangent of 105 degrees. So before you pause this video, just to share with you, B and C are examples of what I am saying a while ago. So pag i-check natin yung unit circle natin, wala namang 15 degrees doon. So hindi natin ma-identify yung sine, which is the y coordinate of our sine. So sine of 15, I mean. So ginagawa natin, either gagamitin natin yung sum and difference, half identity, and or even double identity para yung mga angle measurement na mabibigay sa atin nandun sa unit circle. So please pause this video and go back here kung meron na kayong nagawa. And verify if tama ba yung nagawa ninyo. So let's check your work. So let's start with the cosine of 5 pi over 4 minus pi over 6. So since this is all about difference identity for the cosine function, so you just have to go back to the previous slide. So ito yon. So alam naman natin kung ano yung cosine ng ating 5 pi over 4, ang sine ng ating 5 over 4, at saka cosine ng ating pi over 6, at saka sine ng ating pi over 6. So, tingnan lang natin yung slide natin from our previous module. So, substitute nyo lang. So, yung A natin would be 5 pi over 4. So, yun yung gagamitin natin. So, again, we let A as 5 pi over 4 and B as pi over 6. So, check nyo lang yung unit circle. The cosine of 5 pi over 4 is negative square root of 2 over 2. Cosine of pi over 6 is square root of 3 over 2. And then yung sine of 5 pi over 4 is negative square root of 2 over 2. At saka yung sine ng ating pi over 6 is 1 half. So, kapag hindi naman accessible yung ating list or summary ng ating unit circle, pwede naman natin gamitin yung calculator, yung sinabi ko sa inyo before. Just be sure that the mode of your calculator is in radian. Kasi yung angle measurement na binigay sa atin is in radian form. Okay, and once you simplify this, notice that there are two fractions, so numerator times numerator, denominator times denominator. So, negative square root of 2 times square root of 3 is negative square root of 6 kasi negative times positive, negative. And then square root of 2 times square root of 3 multiply lang natin yung 2 and 3. So, you'll get a 6. And 2 times 2 is 4. And here in the second one, negative square root of 2 times 1 is negative square root of 2. So, this is aligned to identity property. Then 2 times 2 is 4. Then, we just have to add the two fractions. They have same denominators, so we simply add the numerators and copy the common denominator 4. So, since may dalawang possibility kung paano natin isulat yung tamang sagot, we can just factor out the negative because both are negative, or we can just put it as it is. So, either of the two. So, wala na tayong gagawin kasi ito na yung simplest form ng ating sagot. Not unless we write it in decimal form. So, this is the exact value, and once you try to convert it into decimal, so magiging non-terminating yung ating decimal. And mapipilitan tayong mag-round off. Kaya yung final answer natin, isulat lang natin sa format na ito. Okay. And pwede din naman yung negative, ilalagay natin dito kasi isang fraction ito. So, since nag-factor out tayo ng negative, pwede natin ilagay dito din. So, that's the negative of square root of 6 plus square root of 2 all over 4. Okay, let's have B. We have sine of 15 degrees. So, yung 15 degrees, wala siya dun sa ating unit circle. So, I know na madali naman siyang kunin kung may calculator tayo. Pero, pag wala namang calculator, which is yung reality, no, just to share with you, during board examinations, hindi naman kami allowed naman, pero mas mabuti kung alam niyo talaga kung ano yung gagawin kung walang calculator. So, yung 15 degrees, wala siya sa unit circle. So, mapipilitan tayong gamitin yung sum and difference or half identity or double identity para makuha natin yung tamang sagot. In our case here, we will be using the concept of difference. So, since wala naman tayong 15 degrees doon, pwede naman natin siyang isulat as 45 minus 30 degrees. Kasi 45 minus 30 is just 15. And then yung 45 degrees, nandun siya sa ating unit circle. Yung 30 degrees din, nandun siya sa unit circle natin. Yung 45 degrees, pi over 4. Yung 30 degrees natin is yung pi over 6 natin. So, sa case natin dito, pwede natin gamitin yung difference identity of sine function, in which it is the sine A times the cosine of B minus the cosine of A and sine of B. So, yung 45 degrees natin dito, magiging A. And then, yung ating B naman is yung 30 degrees. So, substitute nyo lang. So, we get the sine of 45, that's pi over 2. Cosine of 30 is pi over 3 over 2. Yung cosine of 45 is square root of 2 over 2. And then yung sine ng ating 30 degrees is 1/2. So take note, yung cosine is yung x-coordinate at saka yung sine naman is yung y-coordinate. So numerator times numerator lang tayo at saka denominator times denominator. Square root of 2 times square root of 3 is square root of 6. 2 times 2 is 4. Square root of 2 times 1 is square root of 2. And 2 times 2 is also 4. Then they have a common denominator 4. So following the rules in subtracting fractions, we copy the common denominator and then we subtract the numerators. So ito yung final answer natin. Wala na tayong i-factor out kasi yung square root of 6 positive and then yung square root of 2 naman negative. So wala na tayong magagawa. And then we cannot also combine square root of 6 with square root of 2 if you follow the rules in subtracting radicals in grade 9. And don't convert it anymore into decimal kasi pag i-input natin siya sa calculator and we convert it into decimal, magiging non-terminating, terminating yon. Non-terminating pala, sorry. Non-terminating. Okay, we now proceed to tangent of 105 degrees. So, yung 105 degrees natin, alam naman natin na yung cos, ay yung tan pala, yung tan natin, tangent theta is just equal to sin theta over cosine theta. Ang problema ngayon, hindi natin alam kung ano yung sine of 105. Kasi wala namang sine of 105. Walang 105 degrees sa ating unit circle. Same with the cosine. So, yung gagawin natin, mag-apply tayo ng half identity. So, kanina, yung ginamit natin is difference. Ngayon naman, gagamitin natin is half identity. Kasi, pag i-divide natin yung 210 at saka 2, okay, 210 divided by 2 is also 105. Pero yung kagandahan ng ating 210 over 2, yung 210 natin, alam natin kung ano yung value. Okay? So pag titingnan natin yung unit circle, merong 210 degrees doon. So, it would be tangent of A over 2, where it says that would simply be 1 minus the cosine of A all over sine of A. So, yung A natin dito is yung 210 degrees. Naging half identity siya kasi nag-divide tayo ng angle measurement with a 2. So, substitute lang natin. That's 1 minus cosine of 210 degrees at saka all over sine of 210 degrees. Then, gamit lang tayo ng, check lang natin yung unit circle natin. Yung copy natin from our previous module. Cosine of 210 degrees is negative square root of 2 over 2. At saka yung sine naman ng 210 degrees natin is negative 1/2. So, yung gagawin lang natin, okay, so, i-combine lang natin yung 1 minus square root of 3 over 2 natin. So, just to show it to you. So, parang magiging ganito siya. And then, negative, minus, then yung kasunod is negative, pwede natin siyang i-change into plus. Then, opposite ng negative square root of 3 over 2, magiging positive. And then, yung LCD ng ating dalawang fraction dito is just a 2. So, magiging 1 times 2 over 2. So, magiging 2 over 2. Plus square root of 3 over 2. Kasi yung 2 over 2 natin, 1 lang din naman yan. So, we're just writing it into its equivalent fraction. It might look like different, but in terms of value, it's the same. Yung kagandahan lang, meron na tayong dalawang pareho na denominators. So, that's why naging 2 plus square root of 3 over 2. And then, we just change the main fraction bar into multiplication and then reciprocal natin yung negative 1/2, which is negative 2 over 1. Or pwede lang din naman natin isipin 2 over negative 1. Pero magkapareho lang din naman yon. So, yung 2 natin makakancel out. And then, meron tayong negative 1 sa denominator. So, ibig sabihin nun, yung 2, we need to divide it with negative 1. So, magiging negative 2. Same with square root of 3. So, positive square root of 3 divided by negative 1 is negative square root of 3. So, negative 2 minus square root of 3. Okay, let's proceed to problem 2. So, medyo mahaba ito. So, please take time to answer it in your own first and then verify afterwards. So, pause this video and then go back kung may sagot na kayo. Assuming that you have your answers already, so let's try to answer this problem. So if the tangent theta is equal to negative 1/3 and the secant is greater than a 0, we have to find the double angle identity for our sine function, our double angle identity for our cosine function, same with our tangent, and then the half angle identity of our sine, cosine, and tangent function. So of course, dun tayo magsisimula sa ating given. Ang yung given natin is yung tangent theta, which is negative 1/3. Yung tangent is, kung natatandaan natin, it's y over x. And then, hindi pa yan yung final answer natin. Hindi natin alam kung yung y talaga yung negative or yung x yung negative. That's why we need to consider the secant. So, kung babalikan natin yung ating previous lesson, secant, if the secant is greater than a 0, meaning positive yung secant natin, and then yung tangent is negative, ibig sabihin nun, nasa quadrant 4 yung ating angle. Pag nasa quadrant 4, positive, negative. Okay, positive yung x, negative yung y. So, tama naman yung pagkakasulat dito. Y is negative 1. It's expected to be negative yung y. Positive naman yung x. And then, para mahanap natin yung r, kasi kailangan natin yon para mahanap natin yung mga double angle identity at half angle identity natin. So, r squared is equal to x squared plus y squared. So, substitute lang natin. X is 3, y is negative 1. 3 squared is 9, the square of negative 1 is 1. So, 9 plus 1 is 10. And we get the square root of both sides para ma-cancel out yung ating exponent na 2 dito. So, magiging square root of 10. And then, kailangan natin munang hanapin yung sine theta, cosine theta, at saka tangent theta before natin mahanap yung double identity at half angle identity. So, sine theta is just y over r. So, negative 1 over square root of 10. Pero, hindi pwedeng may square root tayo sa baba or an irrational number in the denominator. So, we still have to rationalize. So, we multiply square root of 10 over 10. Over square root of 10 din. So, magiging negative square root of 10 over 10. Kasi square root of 10 times square root of 10, magiging 10 lang yan. Cosine theta is x over r. So, 3 over 10. 3 over square root of 10. Then, may irrational number ulit tayo sa denominator. So, magra-rationalize tayo ulit. So, we need to multiply square root of 10 over square root of 10. So, 3 square root of 10 yung numerator. Square root of 10 times square root of 10, magiging 10 lang. And then, mahanap na natin yung ating double angle identity. So, the sine or the double angle identity of our sine function, we can rewrite it as it's just equivalent to 2 times the sine theta times cosine theta. So, substitute lang natin yung nakuha natin dito. Sine theta is negative square root of 10 over 10. Pero kung hindi nyo pa siya na-rationalize, okay lang din naman. So, pwede lang natin gamitin ito if you want to. Pero pwede din naman ito, yung rationalized version ng ating sine theta. So, yung mangyayari, negative 1 times 3, magiging negative 3 lang yon. And then square root of 10 times square root of 10 is just 10. Pero again, kung ito yung ginamit niyo, okay lang din naman. Just to show you that it's the same. Kung ito yung ginamit natin. Okay. Negative times positive is negative. Then, square root of 10 times square root of 10 is magiging 10 lang din naman yun. And then we just copy the 3. Then 10 times 10 is 100. Pero pag hindi pa natin siya i-multiply, factored form lang muna, makikita natin makakancel out yung 10. So yung matitira, negative square root of 3 over 10. So pareho lang din yung result. So simplify natin yung 10 natin at saka 2. So yung 10 natin, we can factor it as 5 times 2 and we can cancel out the 2. So meron na tayo negative 3/5. So punta naman tayo sa ating cosine, double angle identity of our cosine function. So we can rewrite it as the square of cosine theta minus the square of sine theta. Then substitute lang tayo. Okay, so when we get the square of 3 over square root of 10, so ibig sabihin nun, 3 times 3, 9. And then, the square of square root of 10 is just a 10. And then, the square of negative 1 is 1. The square of the square root of 10 is just a 10. And notice now that they have the same denominator. So we just have to subtract the numerators. 9 minus 1 is 8. So 8 over 10. Yung 8 over 10 naman natin, masisimplify natin yun as 4/5. Kaya yung sagot natin is 4/5. Okay, and then we proceed to our double angle identity of our tangent function. So we can write it as 2 times the tangent theta all over 1 minus the square of tangent theta. So, substitute lang natin. Pero hindi yata natin nasulat dito. So, okay. Para makita nyo lang, let me erase this first. Okay, just to show you, so take note, tangent theta is just equal to y over x. So, yung y natin ulit, negative 1, yung x natin 3. So, negative 1/3. So, that's why, meron na tayong negative 1/3 dito. Simplify lang natin, 2 times negative 1/3 is negative 2/3. The square of negative 1/3 is 1 over 9. And then, yung 1 minus 1 over 9 natin, okay, LCD is 9. So, magiging 1 times 9 over 9. So, 9 over 9 na siya. And finally, 8 minus 1 is 8. Copy the common denominator, 9. And then, ito yung main fraction bar natin. So, we can copy negative 2/3 as it is. Change division to multiplication and we get the reciprocal of 8 over 9, which is now 9 over 8. So, yung 8 natin, we can write it as 4 times 2. Yung 9 naman, pwede natin siya isulat as 3 times 3. So, makakancel out yung isang 2, makakancel out yung isang 3. Kaya yung ating sagot, negative 3 over 4. Okay, then proceed naman tayo sa ating half-angle identity of our sine function. So, we can write it as the positive or negative of square root of 1 minus cosine theta all over 2. So, substitute lang natin. Okay. This time, yung ginamit natin, yung rationalized version ng ating cosine theta. Okay. Yeah. I think this would be more friendly compared to 3 squared of negative 3 over square root of 10. Kasi mapipilitan naman kayo magra-rationalize if you go through with simplifying in this kind of given. So, same concept. Ito yung fraction natin, 1 minus yung fraction. LCD is 10. So, magiging 10 over 10 yung 1. So, magiging 10 minus 3 square root of 10. And then, ito yung main fraction bar natin. We just get we change the division symbol into multiplication. So, para makita nyo lang, gagawin ko siya dito. Okay, burahin ko muna. Okay, so take note, we just have to change it into multiplication. So copy lang natin yung nasa itaas. Change multiplication, then we get the reciprocal of our 2, which is 1 half. So 10 minus 3 square root of 10 times 1 is just the same. 10 times 2 is 20. Then, pwede pa natin siyang isimplify. Ay, hindi na pala. Kasi 3 square root of 10 dito. So, hindi na siya ma-divide or masisimplify. So, yung gagawin natin dito, pwede nating i-factor out si negative 1 half. So, pag i-factor out natin yung negative 1 half natin, you might be wondering kung bakit naging negative 1 half. Okay. Kasi yung ating 5, ay yung ating 20 pala, yung 20 natin, pwede natin siyang isulat. Okay, gamit lang ako ng ibang color para hindi kayo malito sa mga binabago ko sa solution. So, 20, pwede natin siyang isulat as 4 times 5. So, perfect square kasi yung 4. So, pwede natin siyang i-factor out sa labas. Ang yung matitira, 5 na lang. So, square root of 4 is 2. Kaya may 2 dito sa labas. Okay? And then, huwag kalimutan na nasa denominator yung 20, kaya nasa denominator din yung 2. And then, there's always 1 in the numerator. So, 1 half. So, negative 1 half times the square root of 10 minus 3 square root of 10 all over 5. And then, yung cosine, yung half identity ng ating cosine function, hindi natin siyang isulat as the positive or negative of square root of 1 plus cosine theta all over 2. So, substitute lang natin kung ano yung cosine theta natin, yung rationalized version natin. And then, same idea sa ating sine theta. So, 1 plus 3 square root of 10 over 10 is just 10 plus 3 square root of 10 all over 10. Kasi yung 1 natin, okay, yung denominator niya 1. Di pwede makombine sila kasi hindi sila magkapareho ng denominator. So, hahanapin yung LCD, which is 10. Okay? And then, yung 1, para magkapareho sila ng denominator, yung equivalent fraction ng 1 is 10 over 10. So, kaya naging 10 dito. So, 10 plus 3 square root of 10 all over 10. Kasi we copy the common denominator, yung LCD natin, which is 10. So, same idea kanina. Okay, reciprocal lang natin yung 2 that becomes 1 half. So, 10 times 2, 20. Then, 20 is 4 times 5. Square root of 4 is 2. So, pwede natin siyang ilabas. So, yung matitira sa denominator sa loob ng ating radical sign is 5. So, 1 half times square root of 10 plus 10 plus 3 square root of 10 all over 5. And then, finally, for our half-angle identity of our tangent function, sine theta over 1 plus cosine theta naman. So, substitute lang natin. Yung sine theta natin is negative square root of 10 over 10. Yung cosine theta naman natin is 3 square root of 10 over 10. Okay, same idea. We need to combine 1 plus 3 square root of 10 over 10. So, yung 1 magiging 10 over 10. So, kaya naging 10 dito. Then, we copy the common denominator, which is 10. Then, we change this main fraction bar in here into multiplication. Then, we get the reciprocal of whatever is in the denominator. Yung nasa baba. So, reciprocal ng ating 10 plus 3 square root of 10 over 10 is 10 over 10 plus 3 square root of 10. And then, we can cancel out the 10. So, yung matitira, negative square root of 10 over 10 plus 3 square root of 10. So, wala na tayong magagawa dito. So, ito yung final answer natin. So, there you go. So we're able to figure out our half angle identity and our double angle identity of our given. So there you have it. So siguro on Friday I will be sending you another video that will serve as a reviewer for your long quiz number 4 next week, Monday or Tuesday. So for STEM 16, STEM 12, 14, and 16, okay, your schedule will be on Monday, and then long quiz number 4 for our STEM 4, 5, and 6 will be on Tuesday next week. So there you have it, guys. So please study your lessons ahead in preparation for your long quiz number 4. At the same time, your first sem final examination a week after next week.